Alright, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm starting with a new kind of series where I'm going to be solving Leetcode questions. So I am, as one might say, a noob at programming, just starting my way into the programming world. So what I'm trying to establish from this series is one, to motivate myself to solve Leetcode problems really so that I can improve myself. And the best way to do that is to publicly broadcast what you're doing to the world so that you're constantly under check to do more and pursue more. And second, to build a community in the comments that can help me grow, learn, and also help others in the way. So this video is just is not a tutorial, it's not a walk along, but just a random person solving a lead code question who may struggle, or he might actually solve it clearly and in one go. So let's just get started with it. I'm going to be doing it along with you all, so this is the first time I'm seeing this question, so all the thoughts are going to be raw. Ransom Note is the name of the question, problem 383. Given two strings, ransom note and magazine, return true if ransom note can be constructed by using the letters from magazine and false otherwise. Each letter in magazine can be used only once in ransom note. Okay, that makes sense. So a few examples are there since AAB is in magazine, which means A and A can be used to construct ransom note. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, which might be a brute force solution, but at this point I don't care. I just want to get to the solution because I am a beginner at programming and optimizing is not my concern at the moment. So what I'm planning to do is probably create or transform the strings into list data structures because they are much more easier to deal with the help of indices and deletions. So into list data structures, what I can do is I can then loop through all elements of ransom note string and check if the element is in magazine, right? And but then what I would have to do is, so if it is true, if that is true, then we keep moving. But however, I also need to remove or delete the checked element from magazine, and ultimately keep on doing this. So the program returns false if the element is not found in magazine, or the length of magazine is insufficient after deletion, or basically, or when magazine length is less than ransom note. So now I need to figure out how I would delete from magazine straight away. Okay, I have a feeling that what I'm going to do is going to have time complexity issues, but we're going to go ahead with it anyways. So let's first create a function, def convert, which just converts what we give it as input string to maybe our my list, which is again a list of string. I hope that makes sense. So this won't be a parameter. It's something that we're going to return. So obviously I don't need to write it over there. So for I in range my underscore list is equal to nothing right now. For I in range 0 to length of s, we are going to append my list dot append s with the character at I. So, and then we're going to return my list. Now that that's done, we are going to see first if length of magazine is less than length of ransom note. We are going to return false right away because the repository itself is less than the requirement. Return false, and then we continue. So what we're going to do is, for I in range of 0 to length of ransom note, if ransom note I is, so we have chosen a character in, if it's still in we're going to create an array to store our my array is equal to self dot convert func, and here we're going to give input to be magazine. So we're just storing the available letters, right? It's going to return an array. Yeah, this should make sense. If it's in my underscore array at some possible index, so the program is going to continue. If it's not, then it's going to just return false. But since it's going to continue, we need to delete this element once from my array. So we need to loop through my array again for I in range 0 to length of my array. Again, it's going to give you n square complexity in this program due to this step, but I don't see anything else right now. So if it's in this range, if my underscore array I is equal to ransom note I, we're going to delete this is the delete function. So we're going to delete my array, my underscore array dot the index which it's found. That should make sense. Let's just make it j over here, because again, we don't want to confuse local and global variables. Okay, so we removed it. Then we go ahead, and what else are we going to do? Okay, then we continue, and else no, so we don't have to go further ahead because you don't want to delete it again and again. So if this happens, we are going to continue. No, we're going to break out of the for loop, not continue, right? And we come back again over here, and then else we're going to return false. And if that should make sense. And if for loop executes smoothly, then I'm going to return true. Let's see how this works out. Okay, syntax error somewhere. There had to be a syntax error somewhere. I've never truly had a program without having a syntax error ever. Convert func. Why do I keep making so many errors? Okay, let's see if this should probably work. Okay, takes one. Okay. 2 were given. Alright, I need to provide self as an input over here as well. I have no clue what I was doing. Yeah, works. Perfect. So let's just submit this code once. Oh wow, it got accepted. Although I was wondering if the complexity was going to create any problem, but it's fine. It's not the most optimal solution. I'm still ahead of 7.75% of the people who got right, but still, let's just analyze the complexity. n times m, correct. It's not n square but n times n, which makes sense because I'm looping through shortened array every time I'm deleting something from the array. So yeah, that's about it. I'm probably gonna find a more optimal solution to this online, but this is my approach to it, and you all can obviously correct me or point out any flaw that this solution might have in a test case which is not being considered by Leetcode, because it's just looping through 129 test cases. So if you all know any case that won't work over here, feel free to type in the comments.